Hey, welcome back to my channel. I am Silver Ninja, and we are going over the game Ant Legion and its many different features and events. And I realized I have yet to show you how I build my combat tree. And I'm just going to go from the point of now towards the changes that I've recently made and go from there. Now, I do have 235 points, okay? That is... That is Commander, That is Commander level 55. So you may not be to that point yet. If you want to get there faster, in many of the shops you can buy Commander experience. And there's a lot of good in here, so that might be something you want to focus on. That just means you have to sacrifice, equipment upgrades or snail experience or whatever, or shards, depending on what you're actually looking for. But let's go ahead here and we'll go to my kick and ass tree. And let's see. So the combat tree is really good for alliance events. It's good for predator nests and bugs, right? By bugs I mean singular predators. I just like saying bugs more. And but like the lure, you want to do the max amount of damage. The territory war, you want to do the max amount of damage. The only one I haven't fully tested yet is the spider event. Is it better to have traps or is it better to have combat? But I'm still not fully sure how the traps work, so I haven't experimented with that just yet. But I have an idea on how to do that, so I'll be doing that soon. So we're going to I reset this before the video, so I'll walk you through it. So one thing I'd recommend is try to get down as far as down the tree as your points will allow. Okay, so if you have melee, then yes, fill out both melee. What's better, HP or defense? I have my own argument for HP, but, attack minus defense is damage to the HP. So you're just going to have to decide for yourself what you think is better. So we got March speed. You should already have this basic stuff done, filled out, before you can even reset your talent trees for free, or before you even have different sets. We can go, let's see. So I have haste. So I'm just going to go down the haste. So I've gotten to a point where I've trained enough haste to fill out my entire rally. Some people do run a balanced nest, power to you, but that will make it harder for you to get down this tree. So if you're running haste and ranged, then yeah, sure, maybe fill those both out. If you're just running ranged, fill these out. No one's running movers. Don't waste your points on those. Reset it. As soon as you can reset it, even if you have to buy a reset from the Alliance shop, don't put any points in the movers. It's pointless. You don't ever send those in battle. And in most states, people don't tile hit, so you shouldn't need that strong. And if that's the case, you're going to be sending other things anyway. So again here, I don't need melee and haste boosts. As I get an overabundance of points, maybe I'll start feeding into other things. But right now, my goal is to get down to the bottom of the tree, and we will see why that is here in a little bit. So Mass March is nice. This is a book skill. This can be used to increase your March cap for 30 minutes. The CD period will last for 12 minutes. The CD is cooldown. Now, I wouldn't be able to get there if I didn't have enough points. This is what? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot. That's, 60 points if I didn't double up on something? Yeah, I'm easily distracted. That you wouldn't be able to get down this far just with that alone, right? If you're doing melee, then skip the haste and go down melee. I mean, unless you're obviously running both, then you're going to do what's best for you. March speed, okay? I did look, and we can look at it here when my combat tree's on. I do believe my March speed is now like 70 or 80 something. Okay, so now here's one. I'm not really running ranged, except for as a secondary march, which is typically is useful in events. But I don't need movers, right? So I'm not going to boost the movers because they're garbage anyway. Even fully boosted, your movers are still going to die because everything counters them. So don't boost your movers. I can't stress that enough. March cap is nice. That gives me another 5,000 ants to send. Okay, I have to do melee here, just like above, but I don't have to do both. I'm just going to do more HP because of damage bonus and damage reduction. I think that is the most useful. Lucky Survivor is nice. Total deaths reduction, but so let's see. Here's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 85, 90. I have 90 points further down the tree than I would be if I went down both sides. And what, 30, 35, 40, 45 in mover alone. 45 mover points to get you how much further down this tree. Now I'm pretty high level at this point, so you know, obviously wherever your points are at is how far you're going to get down. So now I am running haste, so I'm going to use all 30 of these points. Okay, you would do the same if you're ranged or if you're melee. And now I got the third march speed, so that's 15% to my march speed. Here is the ranged. I'm just going to bring up the HP and another march cap. So there's another 5,000. First field aid. So this is great book skill. When you are on a kill day, conquest. Maybe not so much on conquest because you don't actually have deaths. Everything's returned to you. Unless it's your own state. But maybe stump, you know. Transforms 30% of your decreased soldiers into wounded, and it lasts for 30 minutes. So that's 30 minutes that you could be saving on troops. Now, if your healing pool and your the Lion's healing pool are maxed, then that'll be an issue. So it won't matter if you save the wounded from deaths because they'll still die anyway. So you have to get those as high as you can if you're going to do a lot of battling other players. Okay, so now this one annoys me because, you know, it does follow the pattern, but what am I going to do? That's 20 points. That is just, to me, just a waste. So what I did here, when I didn't have enough points to get past these two, right? That's 20 points. So I just got enough commander experience, the last 2 levels or 3 levels, to get past that. Before I could get past that, I stopped at the first aid and I went back and fed those points into melee and ranged. Okay. Because there was no point in putting points into movers until I could get past it. But now I've got army attack, got army defense, and I'm 2 points into HP. So I can't wait till I get more commander experience so that I can get that higher, so that I can take less deaths when I'm fighting stronger. You know, in the Mantis Cave, it's very important. The least amount of losses wins. Also important in, you know, Predator Nest, so you have less wounded. If you're trying to max out what you can get, like I'm currently soloing 36, and only 5,000 die, and I think that's like 500 to 1,000 wounded. So, but the more my defense and HP is up, the better that is. So that is how I go down my combat tree. I am going to make a quick note that recently I have decided that, especially when attacking other players, I need a more healing cap. So I'm not going to go into how I build that tree now, but you may have noticed that I have a battle balance, so that I can go into the balance tree a little bit and get the healing pool cap and stuff up. Okay, which means I'll probably change the balance tree here into training or whatever. I haven't decided, but I don't want to get too into that. I'd rather that be a solo video to explain my thought process a little better. But this is what I'm currently doing for my battle tree. Let's see. It's where I go kicking ass, especially on alliance events. And it is very helpful for attacking other players. But if I'm worried, if I'm going to conquest or going to stump or something, and I'm worried about maxing out my healing cap, then I want to have that too. So now we can look at this. Let me recall this real quick. I'm going to pause this video. All right, my march is returned, and I brought you here to show you the difference of using a full combat tree versus, say, a balanced tree or multiple. So when you get to the point of being able to reset your talent trees, why build just a combat tree? So they added this nifty new button here. So we're going to switch this out. We'll go to the balance tree where I like to keep it to get more stamina. And I'm going to show you, move the controls. I'm not going to attack this. It's, let's see here. What's the best way to do this? Well, I wasn't paying attention to that, so I guess we'll just burn one of these, whatever. It's 150 diamonds. And we'll go ahead and attack this. Well, I'm not going to attack it. I have other things going on, but I will be able to show you my CP change. So here's my CP with my balance tree on, okay? Note that my army scale is 33500, right? So, and that gives me a CP of 81,108,000, blah, blah, blah. And that's my strongest formation, right? Whatever yours might be, this is my strongest formation where I focus on haste and army. I do a video on formations if you want to get more in depth into that. But if I change this to my combat tree, so remember this is the one that's all combat and focuses on my particular troop type, which is haste. Yours might be ranged or melee. There's benefits to all of the above. And I hit my strongest one. And you notice I have 1,500 more troop, or 15,000 more troops, ants that I'm sending, and I went up 5 million combat power. Now yours is may not be that much larger. It depends on where you're at on your combat tree, how focused you were on your troop type, and how far down the tree you got. So that, and because that being further down the tree gave me more troops with the march scale. And that's it. The other benefit to going further down the tree is to get a faster march speed. So let's look at that. So if I go back to the balance tree, I think it's more dramatic to show you the before and the after versus the after and the before. So there's that. All right, commander boosts. We'll go to the march boost. And right now I have a 74% march speed with a non-combat tree. And then if I go to my combat tree, you can see I'm now at 89% march speed. Why is march speed important? Well, it's great for like the lure. It's great for I think if there's any other alliance events that it's going to be useful for, but it's great when if you do hunt other players, being able to get to and back from a nest quickly is very useful. Like in Conquest, that's the same thing. You know, there's just many reasons why a faster march speed is useful. But those are the main ones. All right. Or if you like to go hunting and raiding dead nests, then you want a faster march speed so that you can get a faster turnaround and you can hunt more in the time that you're online. So that's basically that. So there's the first aid I've unlocked by being on the combat tree. Mass march is useful for alliance events and attacking other players, depending on how you use it. And that's it. Oh, and emergent recall is one of the first ones you get. So you should have that pretty much by the time you hit Nest 16. All right, well, I think that'll cover it for this video. You let me know if you think I missed anything or got anything wrong. I definitely enjoy the feedback. Other than that, where do you place your points? Do you have a combat-only tree? Do you focus on getting to the bottom, or do you try to boost everything as you go? These are just my recommendations, but how you do things is good to know too, so that we can all learn from it. All right, well, have a great day. Thanks for watching, and as always, remember to keep it fun.